Let's talk about the silent observers. The people in social media who are always there scrolling, but never ever posting. They're all around us, and as we're about to find out, they might just have it all figured out.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We live in this world where pretty much everything gets broadcast. We share our birthdays, the lunch we're about to eat, that perfect sunset, even our deepest, most painful moments. It's become this culture of constant performance, of constant documentation. But in the middle of all that noise, there's this group of people who are just quiet. They're scrolling, they're observing, but they rarely, if ever, actually post anything. They're like these digital ghosts in the machine, totally present, but completely invisible. So you kind of have to wonder, right? While the rest of the world is basically screaming for attention, what's the secret these silent observers have unlocked? Because let's be clear, their silence isn't an accident. It is a really powerful choice. Okay, so let's just start by tackling the biggest myths head on. We tend to make a whole lot of assumptions about people who don't post, and honestly, most of them are just plain wrong. We tend to assume, that they must be antisocial, but the reality is they're protecting their sense of control. We might think they're insecure, but actually, they're so secure that they've just rejected the entire validation game. We see it as hiding, but from a psychological standpoint, it's a form of self-validation. And this, right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. Their silence isn't about retreating from the world or from their friendships. It's a conscious, deliberate refusal to play a game where your self-worth gets measured in likes, comments, and views. So what is actually going on inside their heads? Well, it pretty much boils down to 3 core psychological traits that really set them apart. First up is this incredibly powerful concept, an internal locus of evaluation. All that really means is that their sense of self-worth comes from the inside. They don't need a crowd of online strangers to tell them that their life is good or that they're valuable. Their confidence is totally self-contained. You see, the whole social media algorithm pushes us toward public self-consciousness. We're always asking, how is this going to look to other people? But the non-posters, they lean into private self-consciousness. Their guiding question is so much more internal. It's how does this feel to me? The second trait is this deep, deep respect for what's called psychological ownership. And that's the feeling that your memories are truly yours. Think about it. The moment you post something, that sense of personal ownership kind of fades. It becomes public property, right? It's out there, open to judgment and misinterpretation. And this helps them completely sidestep what's known as the photographer's paradox. You know that feeling, right? When you're so busy trying to get the perfect photo to prove you're having a good time that you totally miss out on the experience itself. They just know that a sunset is infinitely more beautiful when you're not in your head trying to write the perfect caption for it. And the third trait? It's a focus on intrinsic motivation. Let's face it, posting online has pretty much become an extrinsic behavior. We do it for that external reward, for the likes. But non-posters, they see right through that illusion. They prioritize the real intrinsic value of a genuine, real-world connection over chasing shallow reactions from strangers. And look, this isn't just a hunch. It's actually backed by research. It turns out that having just 5 close friends, people who truly know you, is a way, way better predictor of your happiness than having thousands of online followers. They're basically trading the noise of attention for the quiet power of peace. Now, if you are one of these quiet observers, if you've ever felt that pressure to perform online but you've resisted it, this next part is especially for you. I want to validate something for you right now. Just let that sink in for a moment. In a culture that constantly confuses being visible with being valuable, it's so easy to feel like your experiences aren't even real unless you have digital proof. But your worth, your memories, your life, they are absolutely valid all on their own. The big takeaway here is that you are not missing out. In fact, by refusing to chop up your life into these little digestible highlights, you're actually giving yourself the amazing gift of living it in all its messy, beautiful, unfiltered glory. Which of course brings us to the final and most essential distinction. The choice that's being made by those who stay silent online, it isn't really about being seen or unseen. It's about a much, much deeper decision. When you look at it this way, the choice becomes crystal clear. It's choosing privacy over performance. It's choosing depth over a bunch of followers. And it's choosing peace over all that noise. And at the end of the day, that isn't antisocial. It's the ultimate form of self-respect. So I'll just leave you with that question to think about. Because the most profound parts of our lives, our growths, our transformations, our deepest connections, they often happen quietly when no one is watching and when nothing is being posted.
See you in the next video. Bye.